find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's just on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry.
Welcome along, good evening to the 12th and final round of the UkSimracers MX5 winter season for 2024. And we're at the oldest asphalt race circuit in Norway, Rudskogen Motorsenter, which opened back in 1990, was rebuilt in 2012 and will be the backdrop for the final hurrah of the final 4 races of this season. Live here on the JP Broadcasting Network. You'll be joining myself, Alex Goldschmidt, in a short while. We'll be bringing Dean Biggles into the commentary box, but having a look at the standings coming into this final round of the season, it's going to be Jamie Ayres that leads the way on 200. Well, he leads on 1,089 points, just a few points ahead of. Well, I'm trying to get the full names here, but you've been in second position on 1,053. We've also got Tom Griffiths in the number 6, who's currently on 1,039. We then go down the order to the likes of Hefford, Miles Owens from SimRacers Sweden Esports. They round out the top 5 with Hefford on 924, Owens on 912. The likes of Ralph Cullinan and Colin Sansom with Fiona Siddons and also Jay Sylvester rounding out the top 10. Sansom leads the way ahead of Siddons in the AM classification on 799 and 738 apiece. Alan Toon rounds out the top 3 on 497 with M. Barry and D. Lewis rounding out the top 5. Momo lead the way in the team standings on 2,918 points ahead of Result Clothing iRacing Team, SimRacers Sweden Esports, WorkGuard by Result and Pure Sims rounding out the top 5. WorkGuard by Result, the only Pro-Am in the top 5. But we've got 4 races, 2 of which will be random reverse grid draw, 1 will be a normal race, and 1 will be a reverse grid race 4. And with that, Dean Biggles, hello buddy, good to be back with you in the booth again.
Good evening. So quite warm here. Where's the snow? Aren't we in Norway?
Yeah. We're just getting to the final hurrah for free practice. They've had about a 3-hour session open, but it's 17.4 degrees air temperature, 18.3 degrees track temperature, and Daniel Hunt has been leading the timesheets on 132.987. There you see the information on the right-hand side of your screens, just showing 7 mile per hour wind. It's clear. It's looks fairly sunny. But also the good thing is that the MX5 Global Cup car has been an absolute stall over the years. It looks like we are going to go into a 15-minute qualifying session beforehand. So this particular circuit, 2.022 miles, 14 turns. Actually, the fastest race lap was done by Henrik Vejen back in 2014 at the Rudskogen Norwegian Super Cup round in a 1:23. Obviously, those things are a lot lighter than these Mazda MX-5s and also have a better power to weight ratio. Here's Steve Hefford that we're riding on board with in the 72. Of course, those wondering how can we find out who are the pros and who are the AMs? Well, it tells you in the top of the screens. Pro is in yellow, AM is in light cyan blue. They're heading through into turn 3 up the hill here. Yes, these cars can be a bit conducive to snap-on oversteer, as Steve Hefford working quite furiously behind the wheel as we go through into turn 4. But then there's this downhill section.
This is Jamie at the moment, so that we're on board with number 46.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Welsh
but it's showing.
No, that's just the qualifying timing that scrolls across the pond. Hello, Phil, across the pond there. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope everything's okay with the audio levels that I've set up. I've just been tweaking some stuff. And of course, I've got my AC back, so I'm not going to boil.
Yeah, so we are going to wait for the first few times to come in, and this is going to be quite crucial for what we're going to see. Of course, we have got 4 pretty much back-to-back races totaling 1 hour of racing, but of course a little bit of a break in between the sessions. But this qualifying session, as you and I both know, because on any kind of motorsport, even if it's this single make series, which is one of the fan favourites here on the iRacing service. First lap times will hopefully be coming in soon, but they've been on their lap, and now this is the opportunity for them to push. They'll have got the tyres up to temperature, and we run it on board with Jamie Ayres, the Welshman, in the number 46, running with the Momo crew. So let's take you on a lap here at the Rudskogen Motorsenter. So he's making his way down the this long straightaway into a downhill descent into the right-hander here at 3. And then into 4, but then they have to go up the hill. So you're going to see all the revs and the gear inputs on the telemetry on the right hand side of your screen, but you'll actually see the LCD dash display on these Mazda MX-5s, very much production based, but also ready for racing, very much part and parcel of the Whelen Mazda MX-5 Global Cup that is part of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. He's now going to make his way down into what is turn 10. So a little bit of an uphill slant here, going up the hill, through into the left-hand kink here at turn 11, before going onto the brakes on the 90 left. Just carrying the momentum through, of course, speeds very much not in the vain ilk that we've been commentating over the course of 2024 already, but there's a lot of skill that you can gather by applying your trade in these Mazda MX-5s.
Yeah, to me, it's like you're at a school bus. It feels so slow compared to a lot of the other racing that we commentate for. But yeah, it's a good little machine, little beast to drive. A good gateway, of course, to get into iRacing as well too. There's the time at the moment there for the Welshman. Come and visit my castle, my dear friend, in Wales. And yes,
yeah, he's just gone in with the 1:34.507. Darrell Wright has had his first lap time disallowed due to track limits. Fiona Siddons has gone in with the 1:36.295, so the number 59 has gone P2, running in the brightly coloured 59 work guard by result Mazda MX-5. A few more drivers yet to cross the line. Ralph Cullinan, the Irish driver in the 32, has gone across the line and has gone second, 1:35.527. There's Miles Owens in the number 74 SimRacers Sweden Esports Mazda, yet to set a lap time. And one of the things that we've seen, well, Andy Littler's just gone off in the 999. This track, you've got to really carry the momentum through, but you've got to be very, very careful of when you go off. There's a lot of runoff area here as well, because this circuit was rebuilt by Herman Tilke. That name sounds very familiar to all you Formula One fans out there. But it is it's done through a lot of government backing by the Norwegian government anyway. So we still have, at this moment, with coming up to 5 minutes of qualifying completed, 10 minutes to go. Ayres, Cullinan and Siddons, the only 3 drivers yet to settle a lap time, but we should see a few more coming across the board. So let's see if that does change the timesheets. Tom Griffiths goes top. Miles Owens quickly into second, but then Daniel Hunt down into second place, drops to the number 74th to third. Darrell Wright goes in with a 1:34.718. So the top 4 at the minute, covered by just over 6.5 tenths of a second. Piet van Kool from the Netherlands in the number 39 goes 6 on a 1:35.371. There is still plenty of time for these drivers to find here, Dean.
Yeah, a couple more drivers are getting there. It looks like Alan Toon's his lap was disqualified on that one. Colin at the moment should cross on the line. Does Colin get a time in? No. Colin Sansom? No. Been, as you can see on your screen, has crossed the line, but didn't get a time in as well too. So another off-track excursion, disqualifying your lap. Tom's one to beat at the moment. Top of the timesheet there, Daniel Hunt and Miles Owens.
Yep. So there you see in the middle of your screen, at the top part of it, Griffiths currently leads the way in the pro lap times. Fiona Siddons, the only one of the AMs so far to actually set a lap time. Jamie Ayres in the number 46, currently running P4. Hopefully is just hoping to move a little bit up the order. He's about to come across the stripe now. He's improved in pretty much in sector 2. couldn't improve as Daniel Hunt goes top of the timesheets, 1:33.180, beating Griffiths by nearly a tenth and a half. There's Piet van Gool from the Netherlands in the 39. He's making his way down the stripe, down towards the stripe. Will the Dutchman fly up the order? The answer is yes on lap time, no on position, remains 7th at the minute.
So, are they finding any more grip here with the times currently at the moment? You can see down the bottom there, your qualifying. You can see it's mainly a lot of yellows, so they're not getting, they're not bidding. Whoop, just replace it. Right now, Tom setting the fastest of the first sector. You can see all those sectors that are divided up, so we do have 4 of those sectors, if I'm not mistaken. So let's follow Tom. And he's got traffic up the road, but of course that's also a tow. You saw at the very start, didn't you, when we were on board with Jamie Ayres, how the car he was following made a little mistake. Luckily, it didn't cost him anything. Get on the power. Tom, second purple here at the moment, so he wants to take this one away from Daniel at the moment. So he's hunting Daniel Hunt down. There you go.
Yeah, as the car in front has a little bit of a wobble on the back end, but Tom Griffiths, fastest in first and second sectors. Sector 3, not so good, unfortunately, but we might see if he's going to improve coming across the stripe. Time to beat, 1:33.180, and Griffiths, 1:32.904. That's a good one there by Tom Griffiths. Takes the top of the timesheets. Steve Hefford and Colin Sansom have yet to set a lap time. Steve Hefford now does that and goes up into P5 overall. It's getting a bit feisty in this latter stages of qualifying because we have got 6.5 minutes to go. But there is still time to be gained around this wonderful technical circuit, which does have a lot of opportunity for slipstreaming and for overtaking. As we're with Colin Sansom, I believe, in the number 24 car, who's about to cross the line, yet to set a lap time on the board. And that looks to be another one that has not been disallowed, and has just put Colin Sansom ahead of chief rival Fiona Siddons. We're only 61 points apart coming into this last round. Of course, drop scores have been taken into consideration as Miles Owens sets a personal best in Sector 1.
Yeah, I always say you've got to get your banker lap in. You've got to get your banker lap in. You've got 5 minutes and change to go. You know, at the moment, it's costing you 1:32 to go around here. So, Miles goes, somebody went really wide out there. Let's see, as Daniel set a purple in Sector 2, but we're going to just commit with Miles at the moment to see if he can improve a little bit on his time.
Yeah, Daniel Hunt's just gone purple in Sector 3. And last time around was just under a tenth slower than his overall best effort of 1:33.180. We're into the final 5 minutes. Darryl Wright has just gone up to P6 on his best effort, 1:34.321. So it's Griffiths. Hunt has opted to return to garage, so might be sticking a possible new set of boots on that number 1 car to go on out for a final push. Miles Owens trying to look for improvement, so little by little around the circuit. But at the minute, Littler's improved in sectors 2 and 3. Sansom, sectors 1 and 2. Griffiths yet to improve. Piet van Gool and Alan Toon look to have gone back to the pit lane. As we wait for... That was Colin Sansom across the line. Improves on lap time. Stays top of the AMS at the moment as we head into the final 4 minutes 20 plus change of this qualifying session. Ayres now coming out of the pit lane in the number 46, the current overall points leader. Hunt yet to emerge from the pits. Van Gool and Alan Toon, or Sir Alan Toon as he's known on his iRacing ID, all in pit lane. But of course you would expect during a qualifying session, Dean, that with a single make series there will be rubber going down, the circuit will evolve, but then it's also about trying to find the best opportunity to get through. Looks like Tom Griffiths has just gone into pit lane and is ahead by nearly 0.28 of a second ahead of Daniel Hunt. So the only driver to get sub 1:33 around this racetrack. It is going to be one for the books, as if to see how the random random reverse, random grids are drawn for 2 of the races. Then we have a standard race, which will take into consideration the results of qualifying, and then we have a reverse grid race. So, folks, they just say that variety is the spice of life. Okay.
I was just checking to see whether or not, I think Tom's got this one in the bag because nobody else seems to be even close to that. I mean, that's it's a power lap, isn't it? I don't think anybody else is going to reach the 132s. But I was seeing, because that was a slow, so almost like an out lap he was doing. An in lap, I mean. And I was just seeing if he's going to practice his pit stops, which once again is crucial to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you can win, lose a race in those pit stops if you get it all pearl-shaped wrong. I was wondering, we're rolling starts anyway, right? We're not standing starts, just to verify again.
Well, I might have to go back to a previous broadcast to find that out. I will do that now as we speak. I mean, this is a first for me, but at least, the last time out we did have Watkins Glen was the last round, the previous round on the calendar. So it is going to be interesting as, that was a bit of a moment there for Hefford, wasn't it? Oh, dearie me, just lost all that momentum through one slight mistake.
So Daniel never went back out, so there's no way he's going to get another lap in. I think some of these drivers are just basically electing to say, I don't think we're going to be able to beat that time. But then again, you got to remember, you want to be starting on the front row. That's not a bad place, as you can also take Griffiths into turn 1. Get bold and brave.
Yep. Big thank you to our good friend Phil across the pond. Standing start, which I have just seen as per the broadcast that we did on the JP Broadcasting Network last week at Watkins Glen Cup. So thank you very much, Phil, for letting us know.
Do you know what I would do then? And I've seen it before in another series. Practice your race start right now. You got a minute and change, right? Get out there and practice it.
Formula League, Marion Barbieri, you've just been name checked.
Remember? So and that paid off dividends, and so why sit in the pit road right now? Because
exactly.
These tires, you don't have to take him into the race. They should get out there and just practice that pit stop, that start, a racing start, because that is crucial. You bog it down, let your wheels spin there, all of a sudden you're seeing 3 or 4 cars pass you, and you're like, damn, I've only got a better start.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I mean, especially if you want to have less. If you want to have less wheel spin from the back axle, because these are 4-cylinder, 2-litre engines, I think, if I remember correctly. They are rear-wheel drive, folks, so good old happy bit of sideways motion could happen at certain points. And that's just happened to Jamie Ayres. God, that was a fate of circumstance, me saying that, and Ayres has lost the car. Griffiths did go out of the pits and then return back to it. And Milo Gamer saying the best duo, the JPB. The best in JPB. Thank you very much. I know exactly who that is. That is Miles Owens. Right. Milo is his gamer tag. So Milo, thank you very much.
I wonder if you combine age together, the oldest. But then again, I think James is older than you, isn't he?
No, James is younger than me.
Oh, well then you and I would have to be the combined most experienced, and there you go. You and me.
The veterans. So,
thanks for the kind words.
That's indeed. Right, so that has concluded qualifying. We're about to get underway with race 1 out of 4 here at the Rudskogen Motorsenter. It is going to be based on the qualifying results. Of course, as I said, we have some random grid draws. We also have some reverse grids side of things, but it is going to be Tom Griffiths that starts from pole position for the first of 4 final races of the UkSimracers MX5 season for 2024, the winter season here at Rudskogen. Daniel Hunt alongside him on the front row. Miles Owens and Jamie Ayres round out row 2 with Steve Hefford, Darrell Wright on row 3. Ralph Cullinan and Pete Van Hall rounding out the top 4 rows. Colin Sansom and Fiona Siddons, the 2 AM leaders on row 5, and completing the 12-strong grid is Andy Littler and Sir Alan Toon. I shall proudly proclaim that every time I see him out on broadcast.
My lord.
My lord's my liege. Colin Sansom yet to ready up on the grid. Once we do, we will be underway under starters' orders. Colin Sansom now goes onto the grid. So, 15 minutes for race 1 out of 4 here tonight at Rudskogen. The lights will start to ignite on the gantry, and once they go out, we will be underway here in Norway. Lights are on, lights are out. Plenty of wheel spin from the front row and also the back row as well. Alan Toon did get a little bit of a bog down in the start. Too much wheel spin, not enough traction, as Griffiths will lead the field into the left-hander here at turn 1. Ayres trying to go on the offensive against Miles Owens through turn 1. Went a little bit too deep into the first corner. Owens runs wide. It's going to be 3 abreast a little bit further back as they now go down the hill on the run through into this right-hand sweeper at turn 3 that turns, gets a little bit tighter as you go through the apex. And it's 2 abreast, a little bit further up and down the order. Jamie Ayres has got through past on Miles Owens by half a car length as they now head into turn 5. Ayres has got the move up to 3rd position completed. Hefford on the back bumper of Owens as they go through now in towards turn 7 and then into the left at 8th. They're going to be pretty much going back onto themselves. A lot of brake lights showing up on the back of Owens. He still is in a bit of a rock, between a rock and a hard place, as Ayres has started getting away from the 74 from SimRace Sweden Esports. Hefford, Van Hool up to 6th from 8th at the start and is challenging Hefford for 5th.
Yeah, good race start for most of those drivers. A couple of positions gained. You saw Ayres has gained 1 and Van Gool has gained 2. Bogging down on the start, well, we did talk about that, didn't we? That's going to be bold and brave right now for Pete to send it up the inside. It's put a bit of pressure currently at the moment on Steve. It's going to get a good exit out of here. It could be a possible overtaken opportunity into turn 1.
Yeah. Now we complete the opening lap. Griffiths leads the way. Hunt just under 7/10 of a second behind. Running on board with Pete Van Hool from the Netherlands in the number 39 Momo car. Closing in on Hefford. A little bit of a bump. Love tap between the pair as they went into the braking zone for turn 1 through turn 2, and then this is where they really start to gather the speed over the crest, and then it's down the hill once again. We got to just under 13 minutes of this race, out of the first race out of 4 to run, and just look at the descent, hard on the brakes, turn it in into turn 3, and then you're going to be hard on the brakes again. Maybe in some cases you'll actually rotate the car. You won't need to brake because the uphill climb through turn 4 will do that for you. Darrell Wright has found himself all the way down at the back of the order, but there's drama for the AM points leader. Colin Sansom has lost the back end, and this is going to be going through into turn 3. So Darrell Wright is there. What happens to... Oh, Wright just loses the back end, goes sideways, and slight... I think just narrowly missed going into the barriers. Colin Sansom did have a big old drama of his own. So through turn 3, he also loses the back end. And smoke billowing from the tyres, has to try and correct, and then just does a 180 on the outskirts of turn 4.
Oh, that's fun. Fun to watch.
Code Brown.
Code Brown.
That's what it has written all over it.
Let's ride on board for a second and let's see how it feels when he has to correct it. Look, you can see down the hill, as you said, high speed coming in here. There's your snap, tries to correct it. Does not bad, and then it just completely goes on you at this point, and then he just... luckily, he was a little bit further back at the moment. Only one car scoots on by, that's Darrell, and back in it again.
Yeah, well, Colin is currently 4th in the AM side of things. This is going to help Fiona Siddons no end. She currently leads the AM classification in 9th. Jamie Ayres has got a slowdown. I think he got a slowdown possibly because Miles Owens has just done a 1:33.825. Yeah, Jamie was 1.2 seconds slower in the opening sector, so might have had an off track, and then he's been given a direct slowdown, and that's not exactly a nice feeling. But Daniel Hunt, in the meantime, still keeping in the wheel tracks of Tom Griffiths for the race lead. We're currently on lap 3 here in this first of 4 races with 10 minutes and 45 seconds still to go. We run on board on the roll bar cam with
I love this camera
Daniel
angle.
Hunt. It's awesome because you can see everything. You can see the driver's race helmet moving from side to side. You see all the inputs. And Hunt just seems to be taking tighter lines, but Griffiths seems to have a better momentum carry.
Yeah, because the angle as well too. Why don't you jump on the shotgun seat there and ride with him at the moment with Daniel and you give it a commentary.
Exactly. Imagine if that would be a real thing. I mean, I've actually been in a real race car, M3 GT2 that raced at Le Mans. Dirk Werner was behind the wheel of the car, and it was at the Lausitz Ring. And it was an incredibly hot day, and he was sideways coming out of turn.
Oh, you must have been code burning almost every
mate, I was just like whooping and hollering, like saying, yeah, like bring it, like literally. And I was the first guy in the car, so it was cold tyres. One of the best experiences of my life. A big thank you to Florian Hasper, the man now behind VCO these days.
Oh yeah, Florian. I know. I worked with him.
Yep.
With VCO. Yeah.
Yep, he's a good old guy. Pete Van Gool looking up the inside. This is on Steve Hefford, and Hefford has a bit of a tank slapper. Back end steps out to the left-hand side, coming through out of turn 4, and Pete Van Gool easily enough just gets through, plants the car exactly where he needs to, and says, "Thank you very much. That'll do nicely." Also with them, Ralph Cullinan is joining the fray. The Irishman, the Irish driver in the number 32. So a 3-horse race over 5th position. Miles Owens has again set another new fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 33.312, is about 8 tenths behind Daniel Hunt, who still is running about 2 tenths of a second quicker than Tom Griffiths, who so far has led every single lap of this race.
Did Pete drop a position here, or he blinked? Here we go.
Oh, Jamie. Oh, he's got through on Jamie Ayres. Oh, that's a nice little move coming out of turn number 14. And Jamie Ayres is going to have to slot in behind the Dutchman down this very long start-finish straight here at Rudskogen. And then it's going to be how they position themselves for turn 1. Ayres decides to back out of it. Van Gool runs a little bit deep. Could have possibly cost him a little bit of time, because Jamie Ayres will be on his back bumper. Well, actually, will be to the inside of him. So Ayres gets past. Van Gool 2 wheels on the grass. There's Ayres on the right-hand side on the downhill slant in towards turn number 3. And Jamie Ayres once again retakes that 4th position. But Pete Van Gool looking to go around, carry the momentum by going around the outside. So Van Gool is flirting with the limits of adhesion in that Mazda, and still through out of turn number 7 into turn 8. Van Gool nearly went for a dive bomb there, backed out of it at the last moment, but there's a little bit of a touch there between Cullinan, who has a slight rub with the left rear of Hefford, and now this is true Mazda MX5 racing. Cullinan, Hefford, Van Gool. Ayres has cantered away ever so slightly. Hefford looking around the outside of Van Gool. That's not going to happen there. Cullinan looking to the inside line. Through out of turn 10 on the run through into 11, and the 90 left here at 12. And you can see that Hefford was very early on the brakes to try and not go into the back of his teammate from Momo.
Hey, this is fantastic, and we're on board, of course, watching this one from the luck of the Irish, perhaps, there from Ralph, to see if these two can tangle and he can capitalise that. Still nothing happening. I'm going to just pop back to the start there for a second, because overtaking opportunities into turn 1, perhaps, is Tom going to seize his opportunity, and Miles has caught that party well as well. So that 3, that's your top 3, of course, and then you saw the rest of them from 4 down in that other little group. So here it is. I'm getting closer to the crunch time of this first heat race. So if you're Tom that's been following Daniel for a lot of this race, you're going to be thinking, well, all right, I've got about 2 laps, maybe 3 at best, to get the job done and steal P1.
Yeah, still got 6.5 minutes to go, so running with a minute and a half lap, I'd probably say we might get, thinking of it this way, trying to do some quick maths on the fly, probably 4 to 5 laps at most. But now with Daniel Hunt leading the way ahead of Tom Griffiths, Miles Owens has caught up with them, the top 3 covered by just 7.5 tenths, as we're heading towards the conclusion of lap number 6 here on the first race of the night.
It's the worst thing for Tom too, because he's now got a mirror drive as well too with Daniel. So as I said, we've talked about this before, you don't really want to be the car in the middle, you want to be the car in the lead, because that way Daniel just has to focus on up the road and the car behind him. He doesn't have to worry about, if this, as you know, in the middle, you're looking forward and you're looking backwards at the same time. Gosh, you have to always be looking forward, but I think you all know what I mean. When you're racing other cars, you're also concerned about what they're doing.
Yeah, it's sort of like we always have the running gag of saying that everyone has every driver's got to have eyes in the back of their head. In the meantime, Steve Hefford has got back past Pete Van Gool from the Netherlands, who's now got Ralph Cullinan to his inside, and Cullinan will get the inside line for 6th position at turn 1. And the number 32 from the Result Clothing iRacing team makes it through past Pete Van Gool. So Van Gool was up to 4th place. He's dropped all the way back down to 7th, as now it's the race lead being contested. Griffiths looking with a head of steam into turn number 3. Put the pressure on the outside of Daniel Hunt, who holds on to that lead at the minute. This is all the while bringing Miles Owens into the fray, into now turn 5. Griffiths looking one way, then the other. Hunt's able to defend, can actually read what Griffiths is going to do, but then Miles Owens has got the ringside seat, and if the two in front tangle, SimRace Sweden esports driver will take that with a big smile on his boat race.
I think he's got to be just putting pressure on the course as well, because the more he puts pressure on Tom, the more Tom's going to try to put pressure on Daniel, and of course the chances will slowly start increasing of a potential collision between the drivers that we do see. We do see tend to be late, of course, in the race sessions as well too, as people take a little bit more gamble, mainly towards those heats a little bit later on. You think first heat, you have to say that racing drivers do.
Yeah, I mean, also the funny thing is Miles Owens was behind Steve Hefford by 12 points coming to this final round, including drop scores. So this gives Miles Owens the opportunity to get himself into the top 4 come the end of this this race night, as we ride on board with Tom Griffiths still holding on to 2nd. And with 3 3/4 minutes left to go, we're on to lap number 8. And Daniel Hunt parking the number 1 car exactly where he needs to. Griffiths is just trying to put the pressure on quite significantly. And again, he's going to go down the hill towards the outside into turn number 3. And you can just see the overspeed that Griffiths starts to get, but then going through into turn 3, you've got to tighten things up into turn 4, and he just carried, I think, a bit too much overspeed, ran a little bit deep into turn 3, which then compromised his entrance into turn 4. He was hoping the Hunt was going to have a moment and then maybe slingshot up the inside. But again, it's just about putting the car where you need to, and that's exactly what Daniel Hunt is doing.
Yeah, you got to do defensive drive, but you also sometimes defensive driving means that you're going to go off the ultimate racing line and compromise a little bit, and that's it's going to force. You just have to make it very difficult for Tom to find a way around, and Tom is stretching the limits of the track there, but you can see when he does get out there, it starts to just lose the rear end a little bit, starts sliding around, and it's frustrating because he gets within 1/10, and then all of a sudden you're back to 2/10, 3/10, and of course, all meanwhile, Miles is still lurking in the background, ready to pounce on a mistake. If Tom makes a mistake and sends it up the inside too late or something, and outbrakes himself, then Miles will capitalize. So it's easy for Tom to potentially, if he gets it right, go P1. If he gets it wrong, he'd be P3 or worse.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. He's just got to dot the T's, cross the I. Dot the I's, cross the T's. I've done that. That's the first time I've done that in a while. Cross the I's, dot the T's. There we go. That's the right way of saying it. But in the meantime, this is the battle for 5th on the road, with Van Gool behind Cullinan and Hefford, as they're making their way out towards the back of this long stretch between turns 2 and 3. Griffiths again starting to use the same tactic. Oh, Miles Owens! Wow. Miles Owens just locked on up, but Tom Griffiths is going for the lead through at turn 5, and as he made it through, there's still door handle to door handle through into turn 7, and Griffiths on lap 9 has retaken the race lead by an absolutely banzai opportunity that he saw coming. He thought, well, if I put it side by side, I might have the run into turn 7. His plan worked.
Brilliant. And it ain't over yet. I think Ralph's come off track too, so he is out of that battle. So I want to keep my eyes peeled on this for now. I was going to look at that replay, of course, of those two going for it too for now, for that overtake. Might if we get a chance, but we'll see how it pans out right now.
Yeah, my liege, Sir Alan Toon, unfortunately has had a bit of a moment of his own, but he's still running P3 in the AMs. We're going to go on to the white flag lap here. So lap 11, out of 11 underway. As the timer hits 45 seconds, Griffiths now has just under 2 miles to try and defend against Daniel Hunt, who will be wanting to see that blue car behind him rather than in front of him out of turn 2. what is going to be the final time down the hill. Now, will Daniel Hunt do something? There was a little... Now, did I see the left indicator of Griffiths go, yeah, I'm going left.
Really?
Or you go left, mate. We'll see what happens.
Oh, here we
On
go.
the brakes by Griffiths into turn number 3. Hunt tries to go with him. He might get the undercut. That's very, very close. Tries to get through at turn 4. Griffiths parks the car exactly where he needed to at that point. Through into turn 5. Now into 6. And then into 7. And again, Hunt was just denied. Griffiths just went, yeah, I'll indicate left, buddy. I did see if anyone did see a flash of indicator on the left-hand side of that back of that number 6 from Tom Griffiths,
that's a
that
full
just
send.
goes to show, Hunt's going for it. Through at turn 10. And he was trying to apply the power. The back end stepped out to the left-hand side, and Griffiths able to retake the lead. Griffiths going defensive into turn 12. 2 more corners remain as the timer has officially hit 0 in this first of 4 races. Daniel Hunt's got to get the run coming out of the final corner, out of turn number 14. For the final time, it's going to be the run to the line, but I think Griffiths is going to hang on to it. Does Hunt have enough in the tank to close on in and try and get through on him? The answer is no. It was Griffiths winning race 1 by just over 2.5 tenths of a second from Daniel Hunt. Miles Owens rounds out the top 3. Jamie Ayres rounds out 4th place. Steve Hefford, Pete Van Gool. It looks like it's going to be Fiona Siddons that will take the AM Class lead, the AM Class win in the number 59, and she does so, beating Ralph Cullinan, who had dramas in the latter stages of the race. Colin Sansom recovers to finish 2nd in AM, 9th overall, with Darryl Wright rounding out the top 10, with Sir Alan Toon and Andy Littler rounding out the 12-strong running order. But Griffiths, Hunt and Owens round out the top 3. Fiona Siddons every right to celebrate as we're...
Darn it.
we've gone through to another session. Session changes. Oh, my goodness me.
Because it changes, so I didn't get a chance to actually go the replays again, because I wanted to have a look at the replay of what happened to Ralph, because he went off track, came back on, and he was also battling it out with Fiona in the dying stages of that race. And I wanted to go back and show everybody that, but unfortunately I couldn't, and I also wanted to show that battle between P1 and P2 as well. Yes.
Yeah, but
I thought we did talk about this last time. Anyway.
Yes. Yes, we did. Yes, we did indeed.
Anyway.
But you know what? All in all, some great racing there. I mean, that's just the first part of it. Here is your results. Of course, every result that we do call sometimes does have some ramifications afterwards. So they are provisional at the moment. Tom Griffiths wins Heat 1 here at Rudskogen for round 12 of the UkSimracers MX5 Winter Season 2024. Daniel Hunt and Miles Owens covered by just over a second at the end of the race, with Jamie Ayres in 4th, Steve Hefford and Pete Van Gool rounding out the top 6. Fiona Siddons taking the first AM win of the night ahead of Ralph Cullinan, with Colin Sansom in the 24, 9th in the overall race. And then 2nd in AM, Darryl Wright rounds out the top 10, with Sir Alan Toon and Andy Littler rounding out the finishing order. We have got a brief warm-up underway, so gives the drivers an opportunity to get a little bit of hydration, a quick comfort break, and get themselves ready for Heat 2 coming up very, very short. Well, Heat 2 coming up very, very shortly, but again, that is just a sign of things to come here, Dean, and that's what I love about... And Milo has just said in chat, Miles Owens has just said, sorry, I can only do one more race. It's my son's birthday tomorrow. Well, wish your son happy birthday from us here in the commentary box here, Milo. We appreciate you telling us.
Yes, exactly. We're going to sing, Alex is going to sing happy birthday to your son. See your son if you want to. So while I quickly take my commentary relief break, I won't be very long. Don't worry. We got time. We're in a little bit of warm up. Alex, to see happy birthday coming up live.
I am not doing. I am not doing that. My voice has been through the ringer the last few weeks, and it's going to be even more through the ringer this season. So just happy birthday, Milo's son, is all I'm saying. So yeah, all in all, folks, the first of 4 races done and dusted. We're about halfway through. Before we get underway with our second race out of 4 tonight. So a big thank you to everyone that is watching at the moment. Really good to have you along with us. So please, if you haven't already, like, share and subscribe, and join us on this, this wonderful single make series. And of course, there is more action to come on the JP Broadcasting Network over the course of the remainder of the week. We'll take you through the schedule of that once we close things out for tonight's broadcast. But there's plenty of single-seater action, plenty of sports cars. So lots for you people to watch there at home if you are at a loose end all the way through the rest of the week. But there will be a few of us. I mean, me and Dean will be back in action this coming Friday for some single-seater finale antics. But, Mazda MX5, it's a hidden gem, isn't it, Dean?
It is. Yeah, drivers. A lot of people, as I said, it's a good stepping stone as well to into iRacing. You can handle these beasts, you can start handling some of the other beasts that you can have, and the magnitude of different cars and varieties of tracks and everything that you do have in the world of iRacing, of course, and get used to it because that rain will be coming. I wanted to mention something else there. God, my memory today is just absolutely horrible there, Alex. But
that's why I always have a notepad round by my right-hand side, because then I'm just literally I'm trying to make sure I have top threes for each of the classes written down for all of the respective races we've got tonight in terms of the when I speak to people in the interviews a little bit later on. But
oh yeah, but you're a professional. I was thinking of something I just thought of for a second based on the conversation that we had before. But it will come back to me. Yes, as you said. Oh no, that's what it has. See, I don't know. I'm just not the sharpest tool in the shed today. I wanted to say, everybody at the moment, please make sure you like and subscribe too. We're 1.7 here at the JP Broadcasting Network. I remember where we were doing that little bet thing with James, where if we got to 1,000 before or during the time that he had his vacation in Spain, he was going to do us a food podcast, like a dinner podcast or something like that. He didn't know that I was getting around to doing it. I think the wife didn't want him on the phone or anything during that period of time because, it's a holiday. But I'm wondering if everybody, just to have a think about it, you have a think about it there, Phil, and everybody else as well, too. What do you think we should get James to do to celebrate the 2K marker for the JP Broadcasting Network? Anyway, we are getting ready for our race 2, my friend. So hopefully we get that grid up there for a second for you. There we go.
Okay, so this is a random grid. So here's this is going to be a reverse grid, actually. So we've got Andy Littler and Alan Toon on the front row, Darryl Wright and Colin Sansom. So it's basically a full reverse grid from what we saw from the race we've just seen. So Colin Sansom will start row 2. So the lights have gone out. Cullinan was on 5th ahead of Siddons, Van Gool, Hefford, Ayres, Owens, Hunt and Griffiths, as it is a feature race, this one, as it's nearly 3 abreast. Everyone's sort of trying to jockey for real estate. So Toon gets passed on Ayres. Steve Hefford. Oh, and he's done 11s on the circuit coming out of turn 3. Turn 2, so this is going to be very, very feisty. Darryl Wright has just had Colin Sansom trying to go around the outside. That's Van Gool looking up the inside, being very, very cheeky, using the tighter line through turns 3 and 4 as they're heading into 5, 6 and 7. But Andy Littler leading the way from Darryl Wright. Colin Sansom in P3. Pete Van Gool goes off track, exit stage right for the Dutchman. That's flying, but flying right-hand side. I mean, he completely lost the back end of the car, and the car was just not being compliant at all. So Pete Van Gool ends up in front of Steve Hefford, who's closing in on him. So that was very, very unlucky. That just goes to show how quickly a reverse grid race can turn upside down on its head, as Pete Van Gool just found out. So as Daniel Hunt now trying to make his way through on Fiona Siddons, goes around the outside. That's a good move there through turn 13 and into 14. Of course, Fiona competing for top honours in the AM classification, stays out of the way. Owens is going to look up the inside of the 59 as well and has got through on the start-finish straight. This is going to 3 wide. Ralph Cullinan up the inside of Littler. Wright's now got the race lead. Sansom is second. And this is one thing I do like about a good old reverse grid race, that nothing's ever predictable. Everything's it's like throughout the script, hold on and go along for the ride.
This is why everybody's been talking about it for years. It should be done in Formula 1 as well, so would that be fun? Rather than Max just going all the way up the road there and you don't see him for the rest of the race. No, of course, teams don't want that, especially the top teams. But we love it in the virtual world, and it does spice and dice. It also goes to show you how fantastic a driver, like, for example, Tom can be, having to navigate all this traffic, because clearly he's quicker, because he's gained 7 places right now, and also avoiding incidents. And, of course, you know for a fact, so even in reverse grids, it doesn't matter how good of a driver you are, how quick of a driver you are, you will get a tango at some point in the future. It's just inevitable. Like there, it gets a little tap on the back there by the work card machine. But that's what makes it fun. Also, keeping out of drama as much as you can.
Yeah, I still remember Enzo Benito. I commentated on him when he did a reverse grid race and he got punted. Oh no! Into the barriers hard goes Andy Littler. Andy Littler and Daniel Hunt come into contact, coming out of turn number 12. Littler was
Fiona's
Fiona Siddons has gone off the track. So Andy Littler and Daniel Hunt, no surprise there, big old whack into the barriers off of turn 12. Littler took massive front end damage, but here we have Pete Van Gool closing in on, that is Jamie Ayres. Now Jamie Ayres is trying to try and keep himself on the circuit, gain good points. That's exactly what he needs to do. Tom Griffiths at the moment has got the fire underneath his backside at the minute, because he's now up 8 places from the back end of the grid to P4, closing in on Ralph Cullinan, and there is the battle for the top 4. Wright leads it ahead of Sansom. Cullinan and Griffiths is looking up the inside through out of turn 4. Now into 5, 6 and 7. Griffiths is going to still try and see if he can go toe-to-toe and door handle to door handle with Cullinan, but through that point, not enough room for him to do so. But Wright loses the lead. Wright goes wide, coming out of turn 8. Sansom pounces, gets through for the race lead. Griffiths now looking up the inside of has got past Cullinan. Now looks for second up the inside of Wright. Loses out a little bit. Wright goes a little bit deep into the corner. Griffiths now through for second position. Jamie Ayres is now in this, and he's just nosing ahead. And he goes into the back of of Griffiths. This is all going to kick off. I'm going to get names wrong in a minute.
Who's going to seize on the outside here? Is that Miles?
No, that's Jamie Ayres into the side, and he's lost it. He's lost it, and Cullinan narrowly avoids. Oh, dearie me. Jamie Ayres having a little bit of contact, panel to panel, with Miles Owens, who's taking part in his last race of this season, and Owens manages to weather the storm. Ayres finds himself all the way back down to 8th place. Pete Van Gool has the fastest lap of the race, 1:34.402. Hello to El Loco 1919 in YouTube chat. Thank you very much for joining us. Muy bien. Right, okay, well, at the meantime, Darrell Wright is holding on to second. Sansom is well up the road. They've got Daniel Hunt actually just in front, who is one of the backmarkers, along with Andy Littler. Oh, dearie, dearie me. You know what backmarkers normally spells, Dean? Trouble.
Fun, I say. And a NASCAR Truck Series last night that I did, the one I told you was 20-something cautions, at least in almost 3 hours. Backmarkers were not getting any Christmas cards, let's say, from the race leaders during that race as well. Even though,
we're 10 months away from Christmas anyway. But this is the battle between Van Gool, Hefford, and Ayres.
And don't get James to speaking about backmarkers as well, because you know what, James is, he likes blue flags. We should get James a blue flag for Christmas, actually. Yeah,
we should get him a mug saying expert conspiracy theorist as well. But yeah, moment there for Pete Van Gool losing the back end, so Hefford and Ayres get through for 6th and 7th.
Supposed to be teammates here, but they're not, are they?
Well, no, not at all. Well, they are, yeah. All 3 of them are with the Momo team. So they've got to play nice. Griffiths at the moment with 8 minutes and a quarter still to go in this race. We're on lap 5. We're trying to close on in.
Get back and look at some of those replays for you, my friend. First of all, let's have a look at Steve, because we have to get these replays in before we run out of time. And that was just a gaggle of cars. At this point, it's inevitable that somebody's going to have a door bang, and there it is. I think that was probably more on his own there with Steve.
Yeah, nice 360, well held, and he did a bit of a Ken block there. Jim Carner lit up the rear tyres and put 11s down outside of turn 2.
Pete's come back on the track after going off, and then he had contact. So that's probably more on Pete.
Yep.
Everybody lucky to avoid him, because he lost a little bit, came back on, and so that's on you, Pete. That's okay. And this one, you'd say for our Lord, Your Majesty. I think is he already damaged? He's lost it.
Yeah, he just lost it, and then we
got more.
Then we had the big one. Then we had the big one, folks, and it was only going to be a matter of time.
And this one, and then Daniel.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. This is They were going into turn 12, so Andy's on the inside, and then I think Daniel just slightly turned. Yeah,
camera.
We'll have a look at it from a different angle.
Limp.
So on board with Andy.
There.
So this is Andy's gone deep into the corner, and there's the touch from Daniel, and it's just turned Andy around.
Yep. That's one for everybody to look at later on. But the lead is being challenged at the moment, so here comes Tom.
Griffiths through on right for the race lead on lap number 6. Howdo, as they say in Yorkshire, to El Loco 1919. Good to have you with us. But yeah, now Miles Owens wanting to make a little bit of an impact in his final race of this season.
I think Darryl might be in trouble here a little bit because Miles is going to probably... This is a typical overtake. Fully send it, make it stick. He does. Brilliant for the 74 machine. There you go, Miles. Getting it done for the Swedes. I'm sure the Swedish chef out there is going, boing, 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 boing.
Oh dearie me, you had
Muppets.
Oh dear, I was just waiting for Beaker to come into chat. I'm not even going to attempt. There we go. There you go. But no, that was a great move. Yeah, that was a great move from Tom Griffiths, and also a great move from Miles Owens as Jamie Ayres looking to go up the inside of Steve Hefford. That was very close indeed, going through into turn 10. Now up the rise into the left-hand kink here at 11. Got Ralph Cullinan in front of them. Jamie Ayres has got the fastest lap of the race, 1:33.715, done on the last tour, so really trying to motor his way up the order. Here's the Welshman.
Yeah, Ralph's got to keep them at bay because they're all teammates. So let's see what the Irishman has to keep all these Brits behind him. Well, and of course the Dutchman as well. But nothing at the top there. So once Tom's got this one, Miles has got a hold on there from Daniel. Well, Daniel, did held on. Sorry, he got at he's in P3. That's okay. He's got a huge gap actually to Colin in P4. So just got to bring it home at the moment. There's only 4 minutes and change. So. Just you're your own worst enemy right now on this track. You're battling the clock more than anything. These teammates, of course, are battling each other. So they're going to make sure. Don't take each other out. First real team club.
No, Steve Hefford just got a slowdown penalty. He was to the right-hand side of the circuit. Now Pete Van Gool's right on his rear bumper going through into turn 3. So Griffiths leads in Pro, Sansom in Am. As that is going to be Pete Van Gool. Is he going to be through on Steve Hefford, or is Hefford going to fight back? Being teammates, the first rule of racing, never take out your teammate. And of course they are going for the teams championship. They still do have what was the differential between them and the Result Clothing iRacing team? 638 points coming into this final round.
And they want a little bit more if they get past Ralphie. And Ralphie's now he's going to put up a fight here.
Yeah, that's exactly what Jamie Ayres wants to do. Still has a lead in this championship into turn 13. That was a squeeze and a half, and Jamie Ayres manages to get through by half a car length, but Cullinan will be back up the inside through 14 very, very easily. Now Jamie Ayres is going to run wide coming into the final corner. It's going to be side by side down the start finish straight. There's Ayres now ahead of Cullinan, and that is now the change for what is 4th in the Pro class, 5th overall on the circuit. Jamie Ayres just trying to force the issue, got the line he wanted, and got the job done into T1 and 2.
Well, running those chicanes, you can see Ralph there, so I get a little bit concerned because, yeah, they don't have much grip on them. So if you are getting on there, you'll see they feel that rear slipping a little bit as it loses traction. But let's see if Ralphie has enough time to fight back. 3 minutes he can. He's got a really, at the moment, Jamie's got some serious speed once he's up the road there. But also, once again, you are your own worst enemy at this point. You're battling the clock. You make a mistake right now, and you can lose those positions. Tom still in the lead here. Miles Owens is starting to hunt him down a little bit, you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make that lock up at the moment, or was that Darrell on the back making a lock up?
Could have been one of the two. But the thing is now that Tom Griffiths has a nigh on 2.5 second lead. We are into the final 2 minutes and 30 of this race, and they are
Darrell's coming back. Darrell's coming back after, so he's not in this position at all. I thought Miles was clearly the quicker driver, but clearly not. Miles has made a good, fantastic overtake down the bottom of the hill, and now Darrell, well, textbook, mate. What goes around comes around. You got to think, well, let me get close enough and let me try that same move on you. Let's see whether or not Miles Owens can, teach the master teach the apprentice or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, be apprentice and Padawan, Padawan and master in Star Wars. But yeah, I mean, at the moment now, Griffiths on course for his second win of the night. Owens looking for another podium, and it will be his best finish of the evening, and it will be his second finish of the evening. Steve Hefford gets through on Pete Van Gool as the Dutchman runs a little bit wide. However, Darrell Wright, who did lead this race for quite a significant amount of time before Tom Griffiths managed to get through with a very brazen overtake attempt, which then panned out very nicely for the number 6. But yeah, Wright is keeping Owens very, very honest here, and on the last lap, Wright was actually quicker than Miles Owens by the best part of over 0.7 of a second. So you have to sort of factor in that Darrell Wright could be a dark horse for the next 2 races, which will be the random grid draws that we'll have. So they'll be put into positions at random. Andy Littler has gone off again. And that might be his race done and dusted, unfortunately. And he's returned back to the pits, so he's had a tow. But we are going on to our final lap, so 11 laps again for race 2 out of 4 tonight. Tom Griffiths doing everything right up from the back. He's done a top gear from the rear, as my good friend and colleague Mr. Henry Bodette would also like to say. He's done the old last to first challenge.
Yeah,
as the timer is coming down to 0 very, very shortly. But yeah, Darrell Wright for me has to be one of the standouts in this race, if not the biggest standout, because he led for so long until Tom Griffiths did that overtake on him. But he still kept it very much neatly done. He's started he's going to finish exactly where he qualified and take a P3. I mean, Miles Owens also made his way through the order and has moved up from 10th to 2nd. There's Jamie Ayres trying to close in on AM class leader, Colin Sansom in the number 24. Sansom's got plenty of distance between between himself and race 1 AM winner, Fiona Siddons in the number 59, as the timer has hit 0. And our race leader, there is Tom Griffiths making his way through turn 9, down the crest in towards the right-hand hairpin here at 10. Very reminiscent of the final corner at Knock Hill in some respects,
and
a
let's say
left-hand
the casino, La Ping or something like that, isn't it? In
Monaco, Lowe's hairpin.
No, Canada. Sorry.
Oh, Canada, down at Montreal, yeah.
The
but it's going to be the check it out this time. Tom Griffiths comes through turn number 14. It's from the back of the field to the front of the field, and more importantly, he picks up his second race win of the night. What an impressive display by Tom Griffiths. Miles Owens will take 2nd position in his last appearance here in the season, and a great job by Darrell Wright, who was at the sharp end of the field, ends up taking 3rd in that one. Colin Sansom in the number 24 wins the AM class in 4th, ahead of Jamie Ayres, who rounds out the top 4 in Pro. Ralph Cullinan, Steve Hefford, Fiona Siddons takes another top 3 finish in the AM class in the number 59, finishing 8th and taking 2nd in the AM class. Pete Van Gool finishes ahead of my liege, Alan Toon, who takes a first podium of the night in 10th, and of course Daniel Hunt and Andy Littler having that incident early doors. Unfortunately, Tom Griffiths, he's gone for the No, that's not. It's not as good as the one at the Chase at Mount Panorama.
Oh yes, that's one of the best ones. There are some tracks as well too, I believe, where you can find like a black hole or something like that, where your car just scoots up into the air a million miles. You have to look all that stuff up on YouTube as to like little exploits and stuff. Of course, yeah, don't be doing that during a race, no doubt, or a proper league race, but just for fun. There it is. So we'll get those results up for you, and we went through those replays this time. Thank you. I learnt my lesson of getting that done as quickly as possible before the session changes. There you go, my friend.
There we are. That's race 2 out of 4 completed tonight here at UkSimracers MX5 Winter Season 2024 at Rudskogen. Tom Griffiths from the back of the field to the front of the field and wins by 3.6 seconds ahead of Miles Owens from SimRace Sweden Esports. Darryl Wright for Safeguard by Result Clothing rounds out the top 3 overall. And Colin Sansom picks up another win in the AM class in 4th, ahead of Jamie Ayres, the points leader. Still has 2 more races to go before he can literally have both hands on that overall virtual trophy. Ralph Cullinan 6th, ahead of Steve Hefford. Fiona Siddons, Sir Alan Toon, Pete Van Gool round out the top 10 with Daniel Hunt and Andy Littler rounding out the 12-strong grid. Of course, we're going to be going down to 11, courtesy of Miles Owens' son having a birthday tomorrow. So another warm-up getting underway. We're going to have 2 random grid races coming up next, folks. And that, as I said earlier on, Dean, variety is the spice of life. We are going to see that in spades for the last 2 races of the season, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We're going to just cut back to another little lovely JP intro, and as we reload into another session, so please don't go anywhere.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line, though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now, though, for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's just on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry.
Well, welcome back, and thank you for bearing with us during that brief interlude here on the JP Broadcasting Network. They are having a little bit of a practice session, but you know what, Dean? Shall I tell the folks about what's coming up on JP Broadcasting over the next few days up until Sunday?
Yes, please. I'm excited.
Right, okay. So I would imagine that we're going to have tomorrow being the 27th, of February, well, today being the 27th of February, we are going to have Prospect C Racing League Tier 1, Round 2, live at Catalonia for the Spanish Grand Prix, 9:30 UK time, which is in probably about half an hour. I think there's probably a Let's Go Trucking special, which is currently live at the moment at Kansas Speedway. We've also got the penultimate round of the JPB GT4 Series tomorrow night at Twin Ring Motegi. That's going to be round 10. Then also got Tier 2 of the Prospect C Racing League at the Spanish Grand Prix tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Radical Race Series Season 1 of 2024 round 12 takes place at Donington Park. We also do have this coming Friday JPB TCR Euro Sprint Cup Season 3 Round 9 live from Manicourt, and also the season finale of the inaugural TSRC Sim Racing Collective F4 Sprint season at Road Atlanta. We've also got more iFormula racing coming back this week, which I am trying to remember which race it will be. I think it's Spa this coming week. We've also got IGP Fun. Round 10 at Interlagos on Sunday night. We'll also have the OGRL Coffee Cup and also Pole Position Racing later on this week. So I thought, as we had plenty of time, they're going through a bit of a practice routine at the moment. I think just gearing themselves up for 2 random grid draws.
I think that they will be skipping the session soon. I don't, okay. Alex, would you mind popping into? This is a great thing you're going to have at the UK Sim Racing League, is that they're all practically in a chat together, which is, as you know, not many leagues can do that because, you know, it's more of a fun thing to have a chinwagon. Some people obviously don't like to have anybody in their ear, or well, of course they're not having a talk. They'll just go, what are you doing, you know? And I don't know.
I'd rather leave the talking to the drivers until after they've had their fair share of, as James would say, ta-ta-tas on the field.
Ta-ta-ta. No, I mean about pushing the session forward, because it's got, we're not going to have 15 minutes of practice. I guarantee you that. It's, And Steve's actually on the track at the moment. I was sending a message to him. He might be back in the pit road. They'll do it. I think they're going to skip forward the session, of course, because...
Steve is in pit lane, as Tom has just Tom Griffiths has just gone off. But at least in practice, he can do that.
Yeah, they can skip forward the practice session for sure, which they probably will. Otherwise, we're going to run out of things to talk to for 15 minutes, my friend. Oh, you could sing Happy Birthday, of course, to Miles for 15 minutes straight.
No matter how many times you ask me, Biggles, the answer is a flat, big donut hole.
I'm going to get it off you. And what I'm going to do is every single time we broadcast together, I'm going to get you to say any of the words in the Happy Birthday song. All right? At least a one or two. And then I'm going to clip it all together later on and make it into a song and then play it. There you go. All I need is each word from you. I need a happy, I need a birthday, I need a to you. What else is there? That's pretty much it, isn't it?
You might be able to find it by going through the broadcast.
Yes, it's nice. And then I'll just clip them together and I'll just put some music to the background and just loop it. There we go. And then I'll be like, Alex did it. All right.
Yeah. Under coercion.
True. Well, we have a little bit of time to go. What are you excited about Formula 1 season? You've seen the testing?
Yeah.
What do you think? Who's Sandbag and Red Bull still strong? What about Ferrari, Mercedes? What about those new little aero changes? Any surprises?
Of course, the biggest talking point is the drama surrounding Christian Horner. And Jim Farley, who's the CEO of Ford, of course, they're going into an agreement with Red Bull from 2026 as part of, being like the suppliers for the ERS in a technology partnership. Farley's been very vocal about the fact that Ford have been dissatisfied with the responses they've been getting, and they said that this needs to be dealt with very, very quickly. Now, of course, when you look at it, Ford is one of the big three in America. They're coming back into Formula One. They've got the most... Ford, if people do know their Formula One history, have got something of their own history in Formula One.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone might remember the Cosworth DFV
Jaguar
V8.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. The DFV has been the most ever successful race engine
Really?
in Formula One.
Ah.
Yeah, the DFV. And because we've had so many changes going from like say V12s, V10s, V8s to
Hybrid.
1.6 litre hybrid turbocharged engines, it's interesting in the fact that I'm just waiting to see
Oh, they're
what
skipping
is
the
going to happen.
session forward, but yes, go ahead. This is good.
But I'm interested. I was very interested to see what the RB20 looked like when we finally got to see it on track, with the interesting aero things that Adrian Newey has come up with.
Did you see that behind the driver's shoulders where they lift that into the engine? Because that's what it's been, isn't it? Apparently, because last season, we're going to go actually show you a grid in a second. What happened last season, remember, was Red Bull had that really short intake, didn't they, on the side pods? Anyway, we'll talk. And for another day, we'll chat about that.
Yeah, so here's the grid. Pete Van Gool and Fiona Siddons on row 1. Griffiths and Ayres, Wright, Littler, as everyone has just had a big old... Look at that, rooster tails of wheel spin. As Pete Van Gool will lead the field into turn 1. Griffiths already looking up the inside of Siddons through into turn 1. A little bit of a bump and run, I think, there by the number 4. Siddons keeps herself out of harm's way. Has got Jamie Ayres towards her outside, who... Look at the momentum carry Jamie Ayres just had through turn 2. As it's getting a bit too close for comfort. Some dust has been kicked up. 1 and 2 wheels on the grass.
There's trees racing. Sorry.
Yeah, Andy Littler was around the outside at turn number 2 as they go into 3. Hefford looking towards the outside of Daniel Hunt, and there is Sir Alan Toon, my liege, my lord. Right, that was Cullinan on Sansom through turn 6, got round the outside. As Griffiths is going around the outside of Van Gool through at turn number 8.
Fiona's had a spin in the background, and that's going to collect
everybody.
No!
Oh no! That was Fiona Siddons.
Yes.
Fiona Siddons went around and got collected, and Ez has now found himself in a position where he can fight for a race win. Pete Van Gool has dropped off the circuit too. In the meantime, has dropped behind Steve Hefford and has gone. Now Andy Littler. Littler now leads the way. Colin Sansom also might have been compromised through that big old incident with Fiona Siddons. I'm not too sure if Fiona got a bit of an assist. We're going to have a look at the replay here. So this is Henry trying to go through. That is... So Griffiths is trying to make the move through. Fiona loses it on her own.
Yeah, Fiona does.
Oh, yeah, just took a little bit too much. I
thought I clicked on Fiona. Was it showing me that?
We'll have a look. So she goes deep on Jamie Ayres, and now through into... So
remember I told you how slippery it is, and then look, bang.
Gets collected by Colin Sansom. Sansom loses the front bumper. A different part on the circuit where someone loses their front bumper, and this time Andy Littler and Daniel Hunt don't get involved, and it's Fiona Siddons who loses the back end on her own. Colin Sansom was being slightly squeezed, I think, on the outside, and who was on his right?
Wrong one,
that was Ralph Cullinan, I believe, possibly.
Yeah, I was going to go just a view right here of this is what happened with Colin. So he's just he's like, here we go, normal racing on a Monday, la 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 la, bang. Nowhere to go.
Whoopsie.
Yeah. That's racing for you, my friend. Wrong place, wrong time. Unfortunately, that's what happens. But further back, here we go. Stevie on the outside there, Andy getting through.
Yeah, but Hefford going a little bit deep on the corner, now manages to get through, but Littler going a little bit wider through into turn number 12. So Griffiths again is leading the way about 4/10 in front of Jamie Ayres. 3/10 were separating each other after the opening lap, but Steve Hefford trying to hold on. Daniel Hunt is being closed in on by Steve Hefford.
Yeah, remember the keep on fighting Craig as well too. That was a big thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
My apologies there. It was Darryl Wright that just got passed by Daniel Hunt, and Hunt had the momentum carry through the left-hander at turn 1, as they're now going to go down the dip into 3, and Wright might have a little bit of overspeed to his credit. Ayres, in the meantime, must be relishing this, having the opportunity to be at the sharp end of the field. He's been in the top 5 all night long so far, but now he has a chance. He hasn't scored a podium yet tonight, but as we both have agreed on, Dean, that it's not always about being at the sharp end every single time, but if you get good solid points and you're consistent, that's what means that you can be at the sharp end of the field.
If you tell me that I could be a Formula 1 champion, right, by only finishing on the podium in every single race, I will take that any day of the week to be a world champion. Yeah, of course, you would be a little upset in the back of your mind, never had a race win just yet, let's say, for example, the season. But at the end of the day, you're like, I'm the driver's world champion. I can still brag about that. And that's the one that you remember in every show, in every documentary, in every series you're going to have. Every time they call you in for a little interview or a snippet, you're going to have that little title underneath your name that says Formula 1 World Champion and whatever the year it was. And that's all that matters. Like Jenson Button, people go, well, does he deserve to be world champion? Of course he does. He was the right car at the right place at the right time. He was still a quick driver. He just give him the tools, got the job done, and Formula 1 world champion.
Yeah, and also another accolade that I think a lot of people. It's not for the fact that, you know, some people think, oh yeah, well, Formula 1's the be all or end all, but then you see what Jenson Button has achieved in his career. He's gone with Jota in World Endurance Championship for this year with Porsche, but he also won the Super GT 500 title with Team Kunimitsu in the now no longer Honda NSX GT in 2018, won the overall title, and of course Jenson is very much loved in Japan. He's got a big fan base.
Massively loved in Japan, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's what they say that song, because you're big in Japan. I can't remember who's that band that sings that one. You probably know that because we're in old school.
Yeah,
on everybody.
I still remember the song Turning Japanese.
Turning Japanese, Turning Japanese. I really think so.
I really think so. But
Daniel
Jamie has
and there's 2 battles in the field right now, so I don't know which one you want to go to, my friend. You can call the script. You want to see if Jamie can take it to Tom. Probably that may be. There it is. You're the director, my friend.
Well, Jamie Ayres has put in the fastest lap of the race, 1:33.313, was nearly a tenth of a second quicker than the man leading the way. He's looking for 3 on the bounce. Now consider this, Tom Griffiths was 3rd in the championship standings, 50 points behind Jamie Ayres coming into this final round of this winter season. So Tom already having 2 wins, Jamie yet having yet to score a podium, senses there could be a little bit of urgency needed by Jamie Ayres right now, as Ralph Cullinan still trying to close in he's being closed in on by Daniel Hunt, and they are 0.3 of a second apart. Here's the battle for the race lead once again. Dearie me, Griffiths goes late on the brakes, runs a little bit wide through turn 4. Jamie Ayres unable to capitalise, might have had to brake himself in order not to go straight on at turn 3 and into 4, because then that would have not only compromised him, he would have accidentally taken out Tom Griffiths at the same time.
Well, do you think this could also come down to the situation? What was it? I can't remember who it was with. Was it with Hakkinen and Schumacher or whatever? What was it, the championship year where they collided with each other? Schumacher was out.
And they got disqualified. Villeneuve.
Villeneuve, was it? Yeah, was it? No.
Yeah,
Schumacher was out, and then all Villeneuve needed to do was finish, right? At least, I think, in the top 10, and then that was it. You got a point, you won it. But, no, he was already in the championship lead anyway, so it didn't matter. And then he had a breakdown failure, didn't he? And that was it. So Schumacher ended up winning the season off that one. So
that was 94 in Adelaide.
There you go.
When Schumacher turned in on Damon Hill.
That's right.
Damon just needed to finish, and then had massive suspension damage on the left front.
That's right. Had to retire, and that was it. Everybody was like, "Oh, Hill's got it right. All he has to do is bring the car home," but then he couldn't. And here we go. So this could be a case you got to think about with these drivers, but a little bit less close. You say, well, it's quite close, isn't it? And you wonder at the moment. You wonder at the moment if Jamie can go. Well, if I could take Tom out, it's fine. I'm still going to win the championship. I hope that would not happen.
He won't want to win it on the road like that. No. But he's doing like what Tom Griffiths has done for the past 2 races. He's going to the outside on the run through into turn 3. Ayres noses ahead ever so slightly. Is he going to carry too much speed into turn 4? The answer is yes. As soon as you go on that outside line into turn 3, you really are a bit of a sitting duck, because if you don't get the switch back into turn 4, then the person that you're alongside is still going to keep that position. And that's what we saw between Darryl Wright and Tom Griffiths on the previous race for a multitude of laps. Like Griffiths had the run, got the side draft, parked it around the outside, and then he had to think of an alternative strategy. As Jamie Ayres goes very deep onto
Use
the
your
brakes.
turn signal, my friend.
Yeah, like you did last time.
I didn't see it.
Left.
I don't know if it's
It might just be. Yeah, I think it. I will have a look back. If that is the case,
I didn't know
I'll
if they
have to
have turn signals on them. I mean, you can see that, but I don't know if it's painted.
These are production-based cars.
Oh, okay.
Those are actual OEM lights on these cars. So the indicator stalks would. If you look at the right-hand side of the steering wheel, just by the dash display, there's a windscreen wiper stalk. Just by Jamie Ayres. There you go. There's a clock spring. There's the indicators.
Where's the
light
AC?
switch.
Oh, it says
Yeah,
AC.
unfortunately, they had to strip that out for weight. But yeah, these have got wipers and they've got all the indicators on there, so all the modern accoutrement.
Oh, actually,
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
ask you about that. Is this going to be a little bit of a trouble right now with the sun coming into your eyes? Because it's quite blinding hitting your braking points, and obviously it depends on the driver. So if some of the drivers, I don't know if any of you are VRing. Apparently, I was always told with VR it's a nightmare when you got that sun flare in your eyes.
Well, like say on a hypercar or an LMP2 car, you're going to have that problem because you've got no wing mirrors.
Oh,
Well,
Jamie's
you've got
flashed.
wing mirrors.
Oh,
But he's locked up under braking there into turn 8.
That's probably why, isn't it? Because and then again, he's fine. It's just the way it looks for us. Sorry, go ahead about the.
Yeah, the thing is, it depends on the setup on the respective driver simulators. If they're using VR, then that sun will be quite pertinent in their peripheral vision. But the thing is, because this is a production-based car, you've got that big old A-pillar on the left and the right-hand side of the windscreens, and also the top of the windscreen surround, which is where normally the fabric roof will clasp into place.
This is what he sees right now, cockpit.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, it's not going to be. I mean, if it's like right dead center, then yes, I would say
like
that's probably
Sunset
got a bit
Bend
more of
or
a,
something like that. Like that.
yeah, like Sunset Bend at Kyle Army, for instance.
Yeah.
And then that's always the circuit that tries to tempt me by.
I'm gonna battle back the back here. I'll have to cut this for a second, and that's
That's
Daniel
Hunt.
on Ralphie.
Yep, so Daniel Hunt through on Ralph Cullinan. That's for P3 overall. Andy Littler still leading in the AM class, down in 8th, but Sir Alan 2.
Look. This is earlier on lap 5, my friend. Has he
So that
snapped
would
it
have
out
been-
of the corner here? He's hit the
He has.
Didn't get any
but he
damage.
managed
I
it.
don't think.
No, he kept it out of the barriers. I mean, Steve Hefford went past him.
He's lucky he was
thought
wearing a work guard professional footwear on that one, wasn't it? That saved him a little bit. But he backed it up into the fence. I spoke too soon.
Well, at least that was. Yeah, but look who's right behind him. It's his teammate, Sir Alan Toon. So that battle is now half a second apart. We'll make that probably about 6/10. So he's still got 3 minutes to go.
Steve had a moment too. Let's have a look.
Yeah, let's just see let's just see.
I had one of these moments.
Yeah.
during-
Oh, dearie
so-
me.
He saved it there.
Oh, he saved it, kept it out of the barriers. So.
Looks like
well, Pete Van Gool
Pete's just had a
has.
moment.
Oh, here we go. Right, let's check out the replay. This is
Downhill.
into turn 3.
Yeah, it's locked up.
Oh, on the brakes, back end steps out to the left,
Power slider.
sliding,
Keep it, keep it, keep it.
sliding,
Nah,
and around he goes.
That's gonna be that would actually you gotta remember that's very, very hard to keep that. James just put the fastest lap in. That's very, very hard to keep it because you these cars can drift a little bit, but there isn't that one little point, isn't it? Once the rear crosses that certain angle, that's it. It's gone, and there's not too much you can do.
No, coming down to the
Alan's
final.
had a moment too. So here we go, my friend. It's heating up right now through the S's.
The mistakes are coming through. They've been through 2 races, nearly completing race 3 out of 4. And oh, dearie me. Alan, I think, might have just gotten a bit too exuberant on the loud pedal there.
So lucky nobody's behind him because that's right on the racing line. There's really nowhere to go at that point, isn't there? That's the side impact bingo. You'd be in a hospital if it was probably in the real cars, but thankfully, of course, this is a virtual world. This is where virtual esports is fun because you can push it to a dangerous level that you would never ever do in real life. Because you wouldn't have a life if you were to drive like that.
You'd be saying bingo was his name, bang into the barriers, then wonder where you've woken up into, then find tubes attached to your body. But we are coming down to the final throes of this penultimate race of the UK SimRacers MX5 winter season for 2024 here at Rudskogen. Thank you so much for everyone that has kept on watching all the way through the MX5 madness that we've had at this Norwegian circuit. But Tom Griffiths leading the way. We're going to go on to the 11th and final lap of this third race. Got one more race to go to close out the season. And Griffiths leading as by 1.5 seconds. So 2 miles.
Right now.
Yeah, well, Cullinan is now back in front of him again. So Daniel Hunt must have had a drama somewhere. Cullinan did a 1:34.6 the previous lap, and it was a 1:36 for Daniel Hunt. So Daniel's got... Let's just see what the mistake was. So Cullinan was behind him. Now this is through into turns 1 and 2. What is going to happen with Daniel Hunt? So he runs a bit wide.
Yep, there it is.
I'm wondering, he might have just gotten a slowdown, I think. That's probably why
do you think that? Let's see. No, because he stopped. No, he's run wide. Look at that. He's not dropping the pace that much. I think he could be right on that one, isn't it? That's hard to say.
Yeah, it could have been like a half-second slowdown, but Daniel...
Side by side. Last lap.
Daniel's got through. That's a nice little move there that he's just got through out of turn number 4 into 5, 6, and 7.
I got a quick 2 seconds to show that one where it started down the hill. Classic overtaking opportunity here. I think he's just outbraked him a little bit. Ralphie put a good defense on there. Got the job done. Bingo was his name-o. And going back to Bingo was his name-o. Tom leading this one, my dear friend. Again, dominating form there from Tom, but will it be enough to win the championship?
Well, there's one more race to curtail the season, but it's going to be 3 for 3 for the number 4 from England. The number 4 car, privateer entry of Tom Griffiths out of the final turn on lap number 11 out of 11. Well, who's have thought this one for a clean sweep? Well, we could be on for a 4-peat here tonight because Tom Griffiths takes his third win out of 3 successive races, beating Jamie Ayres to the top step of the virtual rostrum once again. By 2.4 seconds, Daniel Hunt will take P3. Cullinan takes 4th, narrowly behind him. Darrell Wright crosses the line in 5th. Who is going to be 6th? It is going to be more than likely. We've got a little bit of a wait for that one. It's going to be Steve Hefford, and we're going to have our 3rd different AM winner in as many races because Andy Littler, through all the trials and tribulations he's had over the past 2 races so far tonight, is on course for an AM class win. So Fiona Siddons, Colin Sansom, and very shortly, there's Tom Griffiths having a little bit of a fun.
Hey, you still got one more race, Tom. You got one more. He's going to get hit here. Oh no.
No, well, Andy Littler has taken the win in the Triple Nine in the AM class. So well done, Andy.
Lovely, Andy.
So we got a little bit more time to wait for the rest of the field to come across the line.
Where is it?
And Colin Sansom, well, will comfortably take another podium place. A bit of a shame for Fiona Siddons in that race, having that moment all on her own and then got taken out inadvertently by Colin Sansom, who recovered. But Fiona still manages to get P3 in that one. So there are the results. So 11 drivers. Pete Van Gool does make it to the checkered, but 2 laps down off of the race winner. 3 from 3 for Tom Griffiths. Can he make the clean sweep in the final race of this winter season? Well, it's going to be another random grid. And, well, if Tom does, we know that Tom can win from anywhere at the circuit. He's won from the front. He's won from the back. He's won from row 2. The sky is the limit with Tom Griffiths. But there are your results provisionally for race 3. We've still got one more race to go, folks. It has been, even with the fact some of you people might be thinking, why are there only 11 cars on the grid? But because it's a single make series, that is one of the beautiful charms about these cars. The main thing is because everyone's got an equal shot at a win.
Yeah, you're right. It's unlike Formula 1 that we're talking about, of course. You haven't got a Haas who's going to be fighting a Red Bull for a race win and stuff like that. But here you do in these cars. You said it's fixed setup too, right? So yeah, everybody has to use the same equipment, and it is difficult sometimes for driving styles of some drivers because every driver generally likes to tweak things a little bit differently. Like you like a little bit more oversteer, like a little bit understeer, like how do you want all that sort of stuff. Well, you've got to adjust to it. These machines are very flexible, aren't they, for that? That's a very big reason why these are an entry-level, fantastic, fun car that probably is one of the most popular cars, isn't it, for racing series across all of iRacing in general. So
Yeah.
Because, as you said, like, they're fun, aren't they? The rear slides out. It feels like you're actually in a real... If you get one of these cars, it's affordable, at least semi-affordable compared to real racing cars. Like I've had before racing, like street cars myself, personal cars that, you take them out. I'm in the middle of the outback, right? So I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm not going to be speeding in town and stuff. And I feel the rear end sliding, and it's like, yeah, the sim, it's like, it's got to feel the same.
Yeah. I think it's one of the ones that really, as I said, it's one of those fantastic cars that, everyone just loves seeing, the opportunities that you can get. You can compete against, so many different drivers on the iRacing service in these MX5 cars. They are sort of like, they're a bit like the Rocky Balboa of iRacing. They, no matter what you put them through, they keep on going. They keep on going. And it is, that's why you see the Whelen Mazda MX5 Global Cup part of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. I was watching people. I mean, there was one driver who I remember, Connor Zilic, who used to run in the FIA World and European Karting Championship, and he was, there were battles up and down the order. And at Daytona, you were having 3-4 wide through the tri-oval across the stripe going into turn one. And you had at least 10 to 15 cars battling in the lead group of a field that had like about 40 cars on it. So it is incredibly close. It's incredibly fun. And it just provides bang for your buck action.
And we've seen it, haven't we? Because like we were talking in the green room going, okay, it's a smaller field here. But, I mean, you always get that towards the end of the season. Trust me, there isn't a league really on the planet. You don't get a smaller field towards the end of the season. However, you see that and you're like, I mean... I'm being impressed with the good wheel-to-wheel racing. Like, I mean, I had a chance sometimes to look at replays. If you don't have a chance to look at a replay in a broadcast of a race, that means to say there's action all over the place. And just touching base on something else is I have a little beef with the MX5s. I love these so much, but back home when I had my GTR Skyline, the MXs, the Mazda MXs were like that one little car. That was the car that could beat the monsters of the Godzillas and all the other beasts, aren't they? So they're so much fun.
Yeah. I was going to say, over in Oz, are they called Miatas or are they called MX5s?
MX5s, we call them. Yeah.
Okay.
Who's reversing? Andy's getting some screen time right there. Yeah, no, no, they were like I remember, we go to clubs, racing clubs, and all that sort of stuff, right? And then it's private streets and stuff, private thing, and I would drag race MXs, Mazdas, and all sorts of vehicles, and I had GDR Godzilla Skyline, right? So this is the beast, of course, the one that had lapped the record on Bathurst for so many years. These little Mazdas would come out and just blow me away sometimes in certain things. It's like, man, well, you don't mess with a rotary. Yeah,
that's true. That's very, very true. But here's your final grid
Let me get rid of
the season for the UkSimracers MX5 winter season for 2024. It's Alan Toon on the front row. Alongside him will be Fiona Siddons, Colin Sansom on row 2 with Andy Littler, Steve Heffer, Darryl Wright, Ralph Cullinan, Daniel Hunt, Jamie Ayres. We're waiting for Tom Griffiths and Pete Van Gool to grid on up, and then we'll have another 15-minute race to curtail what has been an interesting and dynamic winter season for the UkSimracers. Pete Van Gool yet hasn't gridded up, it looks like.
Might be in trouble if he doesn't get in there. Exactly. Oh,
yep,
they're off.
Lights are out. Lights are out. We are underway. If Pete Van Gool does get a fast repair, he might actually... Oh, yeah, he's coming out of pit lane. So Pete Van Gool was able to use a fast repair and get out onto the out of the pit lane. So he's got to wait for everyone to get through. 3 abreast at the mid-pack. They're all struggling for traction as the sunset is very much showcasing itself here at Rudskogen.
Back.
You're
talking
brilliant.
about 3 to 4 wide, right? And here we go,
We've got 3 wide with Ralph Cullinan on towards the inside here at turn number 3. And that was Hunt going through. Cullinan's threaded the eye of the needle. And And that is, as we've got, well, how's about this for a development? Fiona Siddons leading away from Colin Sanson at the sharp end of the field. Alan Toon was the one that went very, very deep and wide into turn 3 and has dropped all the way down to 9th. Steve Hefford up 2 places from 5th on the grid to P3 as they make their way down into turn 10 for the first time. Tom Griffiths. Griffiths started 10th.
Look who he's next to. Jamie.
Oh dear. Jamie Ayres, the 2 men that up until this point were at the sharp end of the overall table in the pro standings. And Tom looking for the move up the inside of the 32. That's Ralph Cullinan to his right-hand side. Andy Littler just in front, who's hard on the brakes, and there's the LED brake lights. Very well. Oh, a little bit of a lock up there on the right-hand side from Andy. But, well, who'd have thought of this? 2 AMs leading the way. Siddons ahead of Sansom. Hefford in 3rd. Hunt, Ayres, Littler, Cullinan.
Is he going to go to the middle here, do you think, Tom? That'd be bold.
I don't think so. I think he's going to go. Oh, he's going to. Oh, that was a late set and he's gone round. Oh, big drama for Tom Griffiths. The 4 in a row is not going to happen. He's going to have to park that in the garage and repair it. Oh, Tom just went for a late move on Andy Littler, and then the dominoes started toppling.
Unbelievable. Maybe the middle might have been good, because he sent it the inside. We're going to replay, of course, of that in a second as we're going to look. Daniel sent it down the inside there on Steve. Not quite done just yet there. They are side by side. These two have had a bit of a tangle and a lot of fun all season long at the moment there. Let's see, Daniel is not going to want to give this one up. He's battling the Momo machine. Of course, the Momo teammate is a little bit back in the back there of Jamie, who managed to survive that war, of course, and hopefully keep his championship hunt alive. And there's Steve coming back on the track. We saw that before, didn't we? You don't want to be coming back on the track and tagging somebody. This is exciting. This is fun.
Yeah. So Hefford goes a little bit deep. That's allowing Hunt to get towards the outside of him, but they're going to go through into turn 12 very, very shortly. Hunt still trying to pressurise the issue. Hefford keeps the inside line, but whilst this is happening, Siddons and Sansom have pulled away ever so slightly from Hefford to the tune of about a second. But Sansom running a little bit wide, coming out of turn number 14, trying to get the run out of the final corner, as Fiona Siddons, who started on the outside of the front row, is leading after the opening lap. Sansom in 2nd. Hefford has got Hunt to the outside going into turn 1. Could Hunt make this work and get the inside line for 2? He's going to try and chance it, and he has nosed ahead by about half a car length through into turn 2. Hunt gets through. Now Ayres gets through as Hefford runs wide, and it's the run down to turn 3. But it looks like Fiona Siddons has just copped a slow down penalty. Sansom has got through. Hunt, Ayres and Siddons. Hunt and Ayres get through. Siddons manages to get up to full speed by turn 3 and shuts the door in the direction of the front bumper of Steve Hefford, who launches it up the inside through into 4, into 5, 6 and 7. And that is Hefford through on Siddons, but Hefford's lost it.
Yep.
And did you see how hard Fiona Siddons was on the brake? She locked up on the right side in order to avoid having contact with Steve Hefford. Well done that time.
She was not giving that. She was so probably definitely frustrated though, because you know, a great position. All of a sudden, you get a gaggle of cars coming through, and then you're back in the middle of that battle. It's the last place you want to be, but unfortunately, you're put in that situation. So you got to give it up for the last race of the season. So let's see how it's going to pan out, of course. And look at this. This is a battle for the lead of this race, and I think at the moment, you know, throw everything, kitchen sink at this one, my friend. It's game on.
It's like it's the last day of term at school, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone just gets their shirt signed. People keep on, you know, using the old marker pens on people's faces. I'm not too sure what happened to Sansom there, but Hunt went up the inside of him, very cleanly done, got through, got the race lead. Ayres is now up into 2nd. So this will be the opportunity for us to have a 2nd overall winner in this race. Colin Sansom at the minute has had a 2nd, a 1st and a 2nd in the AM class, and he's looking for 2 wins out of 4 tonight, and that could probably pretty much seal up the AM title for the number 24 year 1 entry. but look at this. Ayres is now trying everything on Hunt to try and get through for the race lead. And Hunt has lost out to Ayres. Ayres is finally on lap 4 in this race with 9 minutes plus change still to go. But Hunt is giving it... Yeah, that was a bit of a bump and run. And it's going to be into turn number 10. Sansom looking towards the outside of Hunt. That wasn't going to work on a month of Sundays, let alone a Tuesday night. But Ayres now has got the lead. Hunt is trying to put pressure on the number 46.
It's NASCAR, my friend. Give him a bump. It's all right. Bump drafting. Here we go.
Yeah.
Not into a corner, but otherwise you'll be in big trouble. There's that sun I was telling you about at the moment. That's
yeah.
The Earth is rotating into the sun or away from the sun. Not the sun setting, of course. We're going to get out of that little old terminology. It's 2024. We learned that we don't revolve. The sun doesn't revolve around us. Anyway, continuing back to not a science lesson, but a race.
Yeah, Ayres going a bit deeper on the brakes. He went way too deep on the brakes there, did Jamie Ayres. But Daniel Hunt's going to get the crossover here through out of turn 2. Will get the run. So
down the hill. This could be easy if he says it on the right-hand side. How many times have we seen this evening there, Alex?
Yeah, we have seen it. We've seen people go to the outside. We've seen a couple of people be a bit more successful into the inside at turn 3. Hunt is slightly ahead of Ayres as they go through 4 into 5. It's going to be the inside line for the number 46. He's going to try and go back at the number 1, and he gets through. They are still door handle to door handle through into turn 8. Hunt loses out the lead to Ayres, and what's more, Colin Sansom
snapped it.
Go ahead. Jeez Louise.
You don't think it's over yet, my friend?
No, but Sansom's got the ringside seat. What if we were to have an AM winner, an overall winner, being an AM class car? As Colin Sansom has got the ringside seat. Fiona Siddons has dropped behind Darryl Wright in the battle for 4th, but they are again going to be side by side. Fiona gets the move done. That was neatly done through turn 12 by Fiona Siddons. So Alan Toon has dropped down to 9th, currently 3rd in the AM classification. And he's had an off-track in his own right. Oh, that's a big one for Alan. I'm not too sure what's happened to him at this moment, but he's off-track, and he's remained off-track, so not too sure if he might be out. He is stationary at the minute. Oh, dear.
I've got the replays, but once again, if it goes to show you if it's good racing league, you have no time to look at replays, and you won't at this point. 6 minutes and change. Fastest man on the track is Tom in P7. I don't think he's going to get his... what is it? 4 quadrupter? What is it? Like not trifecta, the one after it.
Quadruple victory. Yeah, a quadruple amount of victories here tonight. But Daniel Hunt again looking so racy behind Jamie Ayres in the battle for the final race lead of the season. All contact, and Hunt goes sideways.
Yeah, because Jamie can throw away everything here. Daniel's got past Fiona again, and Fiona's going to be passing Daniel, so that's at it. But this is Darryl, sorry, not Daniel. This is the other Daniel. This is interesting because if Jamie, I don't know, we haven't really calculated the points here, but if Jamie could throw this one away, is it enough for Tom? I just don't know.
It's difficult to say because this is the first time I've ever done a UK SimRacers broadcast, but you know what? I'm more focused on what action we have seen so far tonight, folks, and it has been absolutely brilliant.
Get the calculator out later. Let's worry on what's happening first.
No. I'm not getting the calculator is on do not disturb at the moment. So I've had to do championship permutations before, and that's not easy, especially in karting when you've got multiple rounds you've got to consider, then drop scores to take into account. So we'll leave the admins to that work post-season. But yeah, Daniel Hunt has started to gather himself up a little bit now. He has got to within half a second of Jamie Ayres, but Colin Sansom 6.5 tenths behind second place. So if Hunt has a moment like that again and it causes problems for both Hunt and Ayres, then Sansom will easily take that like candy off a baby.
And who steals candy from a baby? Really?
I don't.
I don't know anybody that's ever do that. But anyway, I guess that's the reason why the saying is, because it's the worst thing to ever do, isn't it? Steal candy from a baby.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yep, still plenty of action to happen over the next 4.5 minutes. Jamie Ayres coming under the kibosh, courtesy of Daniel Hunt, as they go through out of the exit of turn number 8, then through into the right hand here at 9.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm blinded by the light.
It's like James Belushi in the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the other song, Blinded by the Light. Anyway.
Yeah. I have seen the light and then promptly decides to do somersaults down the centre of the church aisle. But this is getting very, very racy between these two. Hunt has really got the momentum gathered up. They go through turn 13.
Send it, son.
Hunt was looking for the move. Ayres is going a little bit wider. He's not touching the apex as much as Hunt is. He's trying to get the run out of the final corner. Just under 4 minutes to go. So we should have, including this one that we're just going to start, we're going to have up to 11 laps. So we are
Here we go,
now starting
Alex.
lap 8 over towards turn 1. Hunt to the outside. Ayres goes late on the brakes. The nose dips. He runs wide. He runs deep. Hunt back through for the race lead. A mistake there from Jamie Ayres costs him the race lead as we head on to the 25% marker of lap 8 completed. Ayres just, you could see the front end dip down on the number 46, and I thought that could spell a little bit of trouble. But you know what? Jamie Ayres straight away thought, okay, that's a mistake, but now I feel a little bit better being behind Daniel Hunt because he's not the one with the significant pressure on him. The biggest thing is that Colin Sanson, folks, is the AM points leader coming into this final round. What he will want to do is get good points, finish this race. Meantime, I've noticed that Fiona Siddons has been closing a little bit on Darrell Wright for 4th overall. Tom Griffiths is 3.7 seconds behind Steve Hefford, but there's a big old gap between Griffiths and Darrell Wright. There is a huge gap between them, about the best part of over 30 seconds. So there's no way on God's green earth Tom Griffiths is even going to get a top 3 in the pro class in the final race of the season. But with 2.5 minutes to go, we are going to go
Are you saying never say never? I mean, let's say these two spins, block the track.
Stranger things have happened, Michael Schumacher at Rascasse. That's all I'm saying on that one. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, this is good. And more than anything, Jamie's got to be more concerned, as you said, about Sansom. But Sansom has to really be just bringing this one home, knowing that it's got this one. Daniel Hunt's he wants to win this race. He doesn't really care. He's like, I'm going to win it. I don't care if Jamie may win the championship. It's irrelevant. Jamie's a Welshman. He's been to my castle in over there in Wales, so he's been inspired by me and my family's tradition of fighting. Fighting the. Well, I mean, God, we're talking about 11th century and stuff like that, my friend. What are they fighting back then? William the Conqueror stayed in my bloody castle. Okay, so here you go, Jamie. Get inspired, my friend. See if you can get past Daniel.
Yeah, we'll see what happens over the next minute and a half plus the final lap of the race, because we will cross the stripe in about 40 seconds, I would imagine, at the minute, as they come through into turn 10 for what is going to be the penultimate race lap of the season here at the UkSimracers MX5 winter season at the Rudskogen Motorsenter. It's been really interesting to see these Mazda MX5s run around this circuit, and we have had some trials and tribulations. All bit of a tank slapper there for Jamie coming out of turn number 12. The back end stepped out to the right hand side. He lost a little bit of time to Daniel Hunt, as we will now go on to the final lap of not just the race, not just the final lap of the race, but also the final racing lap of the 2024 MX5 winter season here on UkSimracers. Hunt leads Ayres by 0.4 of a second into turn 1. For what is the final time this season into turn 2? Ayres looks to carry a bit more momentum through the corner, opting to stay away from the apex on the inside of turn 2 as they go down the hill into turn 3. A lot of momentum. You can see the netting on the left-hand side of Daniel Hunt's car flapping in the breeze.
That'd be annoying in the sound, wouldn't it? Yeah, not that you can hear it.
Yeah, buffeting in the words of James May, but possible slight mistake there by Jamie Ayres, but he manages to carry the momentum through the corner. Into turn 5, 6 and 7 once again, now into 8, hard on the brakes. They're going to go very shortly. And look, Jamie's just trying to counter some opposite lock on the back end. The timer has officially hit 0, and they're on the run through into turn 10. 4 more corners to go after this one. Hard on the brakes goes Hunt. Ayres also does the same. Half a second is the gap.
Where's the last end? Where's the last end, do you think?
It's probably good if he decides to do it. It's going to be turn 13, but that's coming up very shortly. I think Jamie's not going to chance it. He wants to get a good finish to round off the season, but there was the dive looking up the inside. Checker flag out this time. It's going to be the run to the checkered, and it's not going to be Tom Griffiths getting 4 in a row. Daniel Hunt wins the final race of this season of the MX5 winter season for UK SimRacers by 6.5 tenths. Jamie Ayres takes his second podium of the night. Another P2 finish for the number 46. So Daniel Hunt takes the win. Jamie Ayres takes second. And it's a second win for Colin Sanson in the AMS. Darryl Wright has taken 4th overall, but 3rd in the pros.
Can you confirm that Colin has wrapped up the AM championship, right?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he might have done so. But we'll leave it to the MX5 Winter Series admins at UK SimRacers to make sure that that's all ratified and confirmed. So Fiona Siddons ends up 2nd in the AMS on that one. Steve Hefford takes 6th ahead of Tom Griffiths. Ralph Cullinan. Alan Toon, despite not finishing, actually retired on lap 5. Becomes the podium driver, and that's his 3rd podium of the night, actually. 3 third places. Race 1, race 2, and now race 4. And Pete Van Gool, unfortunately, not making it to the grid. And I think that says everything. If Colin Sansom is doing donuts, I think he realises he's probably done enough to secure the AM title. Not too sure on Jamie Ayres and Tom Griffiths, because Mr. Newman was not with us.
Not really doing burnouts at the moment. We'll see. But yeah.
I mean, the thing is, hopefully we might be able to get to speak to some of the drivers post-race. But it has been a very, very long night for everyone involved. But yeah, Colin Sansom doing some donuts. And there's someone else there as well. I think that might be Steve Hefford that's doing them along with him. Yes, he is. And they're trying to do like, bit of afters there, boys. Careful.
Hey, close your eyes if you get motion sickness right now, because Colin's going to be spinning you right round, baby, right round.
Like a rag doll.
Yeah. That as Ty's return to sender. No, needed. Between them, that is Steve. You're correct on that one. Jamie is out there. Jamie's just bringing it home. He's drifting. There we go. Good on Jamie. He's drifting. Jamie, almost.
It's nice to have that as a bit of a relief.
You can drift too, can't you? These cars, you said.
Yeah, right. You can. Do donuts, do drifting. You know.
See, see if he feels that. No, he's got back to pit road. So there it is. Colm's still blowing that engine up. There it is, my friend. We'll get those results for you practically right now. Second, my friend. Gonna just delay it. Just gonna grill the anticipation up. Here we go.
Right, there's your results, folks. Daniel Hunt picks up the last win of the season. Round 12 here at the UK SimRacers MX5 winter season at the season finale for this championship. Rudskogen Motorsenter, a fantastic way to curtail the season. And also with these fantastic one-make production car-based series vehicles, providing us, myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Dean Biggles, with a lot of entertainment. I don't think we'll wait to see if we do get anyone coming in for an interview. Not sure. And yeah, Summer Farm Estates. Yeah,
at least to give us anybody from the racing league, of course, please come in and see if they can crunch those numbers and at least let us wrap up what's happened.
Summer Farm Estates says, well done to Colin on winning the AM. I think if he stayed ahead of Fiona Siddons, then he would have done so. I mean, you look at it from this perspective. Colin has taken 2 wins, 2 second places. Fiona's taken a win, a 3rd, and 2 seconds. So by my provisional maths, I would say that Colin's taken AM. Pro, not too sure. Momo's wrapped up the team title. I don't think we may be getting any interviews, folks, to be honest with you. It's been a very, very long time. But thank you so much for joining us, folks, on the JP Broadcasting Network here for live coverage at the virtual recreation of the Rudskogen Motorsenter with myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Dean Biggles. Biggles, last words before we close off tonight, mate.
I'd give it to you because you're the best, one of the best broadcasters on the planet there, Alex. Yeah, no, I've had fun. We've stepped in a few times. I've stepped in a few times for the UK SimRacing because you got to thank James, of course, JP Broadcasting Network. He brings us on. He's done the MX League all season long. Over to you, Alex.
Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. You can also have a look if you want to get involved with the UK SimRacers on their next season. The links are in the description down below. He's been Dean Biggles. My name's Alex Goldschmidt. Race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, flat out. See you next time. Good night.